Alright, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into the topic. Okay, so Kamala Harris went from being the running mate for who was supposed to be the next president of the United States, or the representative of the Democratic Party, which is none other than Joe Biden, who is still the president at the moment. She went from being that to being the front runner who could potentially become the next president of the United States in our next upcoming election. With that said, a lot of controversy surrounds Kamala Harris. According to a lot of people, she is not black, she is Indian. She's not Indian, she is something else. She is this, she is that. She is a million things, right? And there is the claim that Kamala Harris does not like black people, and she jailed 1,500 black men for marijuana. What we are going to do today in this video is, after doing research and fact checking, we bring you the facts. Let the facts fall where they may. Whoever chooses after this to go along with whatever else they've heard, then that's on you. But our duty is to make sure that you are factual when you make your decision. So, a Facebook post that was criticizing Kamala Harris as a prosecutor, that Facebook post was shared probably 1 million times or more by now. And that Facebook post tells that Kamala Harris had incarcerated 1,500 black men. You can't imagine how damaging this might look, because now you have a lot of black people who are saying, she Indian, she don't really like black people. You know, people are easily misled, and people are obviously in their feelings when it comes to politics. Now, that post is actually a misrepresentation according to statistics. And that post has proven to falsely state after that she incarcerated 1,500 black men on misdemeanor or small marijuana charges. It also went ahead to say that she released evidence after 2 black men were executed, and she held on to the evidence that could have freed them before their execution. Now, let's start out with she jailed 1,500 black men for possession of weed or marijuana. That post was shared in October of 2020, or sometime around that time is when it first surfaced. That post also claimed that Joe Biden's running mate, Kamala Harris, who is now the front runner for the presidential election representing the Democratic Party, says that she withheld evidence on these black men who were on death row, and she waited until they were executed to release the evidence. When they posted that post, they actually, you know how Kamala Harris is always laughing? They posted one of her laughing pictures. And on the laughing picture, it said she jailed 1,500 black men for possession of weed and withheld evidence on 2 black men that were on death row. She released the evidence after they were executed. And that post has her picture on it and has a red X going through the picture. Now, while Kamala Harris was, you know, some people looked up to her as the first of women of color to be where she is in a position. She was a vice president of the United States of America. A lot of people said she made history, which she did. She also came under heavy fire for her record as a prosecutor and for failing to intervene in cases involving police brutality. Now, I don't think a lot of people actually went and did their homework, or else they would have seen different. Now, if you actually search a New York Times article from July of 2019 on a Democratic presidential debate in which Kamala Harris faced off with Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Back then, Senator Harris said that she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president. But I'm deeply concerned about this record, is what Gabbard responded by saying. So this is where it started, or this is where it came from. Gabbard went on to say, quote unquote, she put 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. That 1,500 figure actually appears to come from a 2019 article that was done by the Washington Free Beacon, which many would know is a conservative publication. And the headline for that said, Kamala Harris packed California prisons with pot peddlers. It's funny how 1 minute the same people that want everybody off the streets who are smoking weed illegally, when it comes time for election and they need those votes, you are a bad prosecutor because you got people off the streets for smoking weed. But that's not what Kamala did. I'm about to break the numbers down for you. It quotes statistics from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation that at least 1,560 people were jailed for marijuana offenses in state prisons when Kamala Harris was California State Attorney General from 2011 through to 2016. This is where you have to pay attention. Now, that website later published a correction to that and pointed to a fact check that was done by the San Francisco Chronicles, which put the number of admissions to California State Prison for marijuana and hashish at 1,974 during that period. Okay, now this is confirmed by the Department of Corrections, right? The data that was obtained by quite a few different news media houses and fact check machines, which relate to all inmates incarcerated for that charge, not black men, all inmates that were incarcerated for that charge. Now, if you break it down, it goes like this. And this includes ethnicity and gender, all inmates. In 2011, you had hashish possession. In 2011, it was 46 people who were arrested for that. In 2012, it was 10. 2013, 19. 2014, it was 13. In 2015, 1 person. In 2016, 2. Marijuana possession for sale. You had in 2011, remember, 2011 to 2016 was the time period in which Kamala Harris served. So the numbers are actually out. You can get them at the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Marijuana possession for sale, 2011, 519 people were arrested for trying to sell marijuana illegally. 2012, it was 140. 2013, it was 149. 2014, it was 144. 2015, 113. In 2016, it was 88. Then there were marijuana sales charges, and the numbers went on by the years. Then there were other marijuana offenses, and those numbers also went on from 2011 to 2016, respectively, with 82, 27, 34, 38, 31, and 20. All over the period of years, totaling a number from 2011 to 2016 of 1,974. And again, they were not all black men. Majority of the men were not even black, because the black male population of California State Prison, look, in 2011, the California Public Safety Realignment Act, that meant most newly sentenced nonviolent criminals, including most drug offenders, they were sent to county jail rather than they were sent to prison. And this explains a drop in admission figures between 2011 and 2012. Now, the black male population of California state prisons stayed pretty much the same during Kamala Harris's tenure, her time in her position. It stayed pretty much the same during her entire time from 2011 to 2016 as Attorney General. And this is according to the Department of Corrections data. And shortly before she took office, there were 29% black males who were incarcerated. This is shortly before she took office. And then, after she was done in 2016, when she left office, when they came up with the new numbers, 2017, because you have to wait until 2016 is done, that figure actually went to 28.5%. So she didn't put any group of or a whole pack the jails with black males and all this. Of 100% of black men who were incarcerated in that number, of the 100% of men who were incarcerated in that number, 29% were black. So let's say 29, let's say 30% were black. It still leaves 71% of people who were non-black, right? So obviously this lie that is being told has gotten out of control to the point where people are actually believing it and no one is bothering to fact check it. Now on to the other one where it says she blocked evidence that could have freed 2 black men who were incarcerated and who were facing the death penalty, but she held on to the evidence and waited until they were executed. Let's get into that. So there was a Facebook post that claimed that, which we said earlier, that she withheld evidence in this case, and she only released the evidence after they were executed. This also appears to come from the same person who she was debating, Gabbard. And this was during Gabbard's remarks during her 2019 Democratic presidential debate with Kamala Harris. Now, what these people were doing was they would get on a debate platform and they would spew lies. And people would hear these lies, but they would never go fact check them to see if the lie is actually true or if it is a lie. She said she blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. Well, a New York Times article from 2018 accused the police of framing Kevin Cooper, who is a black man that was sentenced to death for the 1983 killing of 4 people in Chino Hills, California. That report said that Kamala Harris refused to allow new DNA testing when she was Attorney General, and it also suggested that this could have proved Cooper's innocence and got him off of death row. Not to mention, they said he was executed, and she then published the proof, or she then published what she had that could have freed him after he died. Complete lie. It was a lie. It is not true. New York Times journalist Nicholas Kristof said that Kamala Harris phoned him after that article was published, and she told him, quote unquote, "I feel awful about this. Didn't do it, but I feel awful about it. That there's someone that's sitting on death row and there is evidence that might prove the person's innocence. I didn't know about it, but I want to do something about it." She issued a statement calling on authorities to allow for DNA testing to see if it would exonerate this man. That's not what they're telling you, though. She released a statement back then that said, I believe it was on Twitter back then, that is no longer Twitter, or it was by Facebook, one of them. And it says, "My career as a prosecutor was marked by fierce opposition to the death penalty while still upholding the law and a commitment to fixing a broken criminal system. My career as a prosecutor was marked by fierce opposition to the death penalty while still upholding the law and committed to fixing a broken criminal system. I have long been an advocate for measures to improve and make our system more fair and more just. As a firm believer in DNA testing, I hope that the government and the state will now allow for such testing in the case of Kevin Cooper, is what she actually wrote. And that was 6 years ago. Probably more than 6 years ago now. Now, according to California prison records, Cooper, who is now 60-something years old, is still on death row by no doing of Kamala Harris. So, fact checking, no evidence was found that Kamala Harris released evidence in a case after a black convict was executed. Right? Okay, so I hope now that we have brought you the facts, that you can go and research them yourself and start standing on truth. Now listen, the election's up on us. If you're going to vote for somebody based on policies and based on how their position as president will benefit you and yours, then that's all fine and good. But make sure that when you vote, that you actually vote using facts, that you're not misled, that you are not lied to, that you use the truth. That's all we're here for. And we're not here to tell anybody to vote Democratic or Republican. We give you the truth and you go whichever way you choose. They always say a couple of things you do not have discussions about unless you want drama, and those are your paycheck amount, because somebody might think, how are you supposed to work more than me or get paid more than me when I'm more experienced than you, blah, blah, blah. I have more degrees, I have more this. So your paycheck, and then people will also be jealous. How come you're making so much money, right? So your paycheck, your religion, I'm Muslim, you're Jewish, you're Hindu, you're Christian. We can't talk because each one of us has the supreme God in our religion. Therefore, that religion is better than yours. So it's your paycheck, your religion, and damn sure politics. All those damn liberals, all those damn right-wingers, all those damn, you understand? And now we can't have a conversation as people because we're divided by those three. So, again, this video is not intended to tell anyone to vote for Kamala Harris or to vote against her or to vote Democratic or to vote Republican. This video is to simply tell you facts. So you vote based on facts, truth. I'll leave this right here for now. Go ahead and put your comment in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.